Hello, today we're going to be doing the first part of our Bacteria of the Body Lab. So hopefully you have a petri dish that has agar in it and also some sterile swabs. So if you are like me, I like to open up both my lab and answer sheet so I can see everything, write things down. We're just going to be doing part A today, and then we're going to give it a couple days for the bacteria to grow, and then you're going to be writing down your observations, which will be part B, and also the analysis questions. So that will be for next week. Okay, so go ahead and read the introduction, learn about all the bacteria that's on your body, mostly good stuff, good bacteria, helpful bacteria. And what agar is, which is this jelly-like material that's going to be growing our bacteria. So again, don't write your answers on this sheet. Find the answer sheet that I created and put your answers on here. But you're going to be working by yourself since we don't have groups, and you only need one petri dish. However, if you're like me, I couldn't order just one, I ordered 5. So you really don't have to divide the plate into 4 quadrants unless you only have one petri dish. So if you have one petri dish, then you can go ahead and divide it into 4 quadrants. If you have 4 petri dishes, then you can just use one for your control and one for each of the 3 places that you collect bacteria from. So if you look at the instructions, you can choose from any of these places to collect a sample, and then you're going to be, sorry for my dog, you're going to be keeping one section without any sample collected, and then the rest you're going to be gently swabbing some samples from wherever place that you collected. And it says don't remove the lid completely because you've got contaminants in the air that are floating around, and you don't want those to land on your dish and grow, and then you think, oh, that's from my toes, but actually it was just floating around in the air. Okay, so we're going to swirl the cotton swab on a surface for about 5 seconds, and then you're going to gently brush it back and forth in a zigzag pattern on the petri dish. And then when you finish, you're going to cover your dish, and you're going to tape it closed, and you're going to let it sit upside down so that some of the condensation that collects doesn't drip down on your agar. Okay, so let's take a look and do one just so that you can see what that looks like. All right, here are my petri dishes. This is the top lid, and you can see that there's some condensation there. I actually was keeping it in the refrigerator, and so I'm gonna, if I open it, there's like a jelly layer on the bottom. If you only have one petri dish, then you can go ahead and divide it into 4 equal quadrants, and one section is going to be your control, and then you can label the different, wow, that's not even, very even. But if you've got 4 petri dishes, which I have more of, okay, and I haven't decided how I'm going to do this, but then this one can be your control, this one can be your sample 1, sample 2, sample 3. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and show you an example of how to collect it. Don't have a camera on my face, but I've got 4 sterile swabs. So remember for the first one, for one of them is just going to be your control. We're not going to collect any data. So, collect any bacteria. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly turn my swab a little bit and kind of cover that area with my swab that didn't collect any bacteria. I don't know if you were able to even see that. Okay, then I'm going to take a new swab and collect a sample. So let's say this next sample is going to be my mouth. Oh, that'll be interesting. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take one of these sterile samples. I'm going to rub it around my mouth. Okay. I hope that this doesn't gross everyone out. Okay, maybe I'll put a white background on here. Okay, so here's my mouth, and normally you don't open this lid completely, but just to show you what I'm doing, I'm brushing this gently back and forth and slowly turning my cotton swab, okay, in this area. I'm not crossing into the other areas, and I'm not pressing down so hard that I'm digging into the agar. Okay, and then you're going to continue that with 2 more samples. Okay, and the lab gives you a couple suggestions where you can collect samples from your nose, from your toes, probably not your hands, although it might be interesting to your hands if you haven't just washed your hands. And then when you finish, you're going to tape this closed, and you're going to have it sit upside down. So tape this closed, have it sit upside down. I like to put it in a Ziploc bag because unfortunately it starts smelling really strange. And then what you're going to do is answer the questions in part A. So in part A, it's asking you up here, what are the sample areas that you collected from, and then what is your hypothesis down here? Okay, where do I expect the most bacteria to grow, and where do I expect the least? Sorry about my dog, and I will be back in a couple days so you can see how to record your data from part B.